I think we're live.
I think so
This
too.
is it, man.
Let's check it out.
Let's check it out.
Oh, yeah.
We're live a couple minutes
Are we
early.
live?
We live? We are live. I think
we're live, right?
Boom. Oh, I got it right here. Heck yeah.
How's it looking?
Oh, man, this looks awesome.
We got
Check
the
this
Start
out,
Grow
guys.
Show logo right at the top.
Look at that. Who's already sharing like crazy, man? Check that out. That's legit. 9 shares already.
Yeah, let's get this thing shared.
What's up, everybody? We're live. We're live.
We're live.
And as you know, we're entrepreneurs, and this is an entrepreneurial endeavor doing the Start Build Grow Show. So there's been some amazing things that happen, and it's just a lot of fun. Things keep happening, and we keep trying to step our game up every time. So here we are. We're trying a new software out to where now we can add in some cool little logos. So check out that logo in the top screen. Is that right? There it is. There. Check that out. Kind of cool. Start Build Grow Show logo. And then before I introduce my guest here, Nick's going to do a few little announcements and updates. And we actually have some sponsors now. Check this out. We have a sponsor of the show, and we're really stoked about that. So I'm going to let Nick go ahead and get the list of sponsors out, and then let you guys know a little bit about what's going on in the world of the Start Build Grow Show and the Roofing Academy and Summa Media.
Yep.
And go ahead, brother. What you got?
Well, yeah, 100%. Well, I'm pretty stoked. It's episode 25 of the Start Build Grow Show, man. It's been a lot of work, but it's been super exciting, and we've had some amazing guests. Today, we got another amazing guest. We're not going to dive into that quite yet, but, man, he's got the Lightspeed VT shirt on right now, and he was actually with us
baby, right?
last week. Man.
LSVT family.
He was with us last week,
yeah,
man, and I don't know about you, but, man, that gave me a lot of motivation moving forward, man. I got stoked from some of those keynote speakers and stuff like that. It was pretty awesome. But all right, well, hey, let's get quick to the sponsorship. We're looking at powered by, right? Who makes this possible to bring this kind of content, right? Obviously, it starts with the Rubin Academy, and then from there, Summa Media, Media Outbreak, and then JobNimbus, who actually has their Success Summit coming up October 23rd and 24th. That's a Monday in Austin, Texas. So if you're looking to streamline your processes, really get a CRM that works well with your company, that's it's customized, make sure you check that out, and you're gonna learn a ton more about branding, sales, building a company that sells itself. There's gonna be a ton of information you're gonna be able to learn from that. So make sure, if you're able to make it, check out Austin, Texas, JobNimbus Success Summit. It's gonna be awesome. Like I said, October 23rd and 24th.
Don't worry about me.
The contractor over here is doing something. I'm not sure what.
I'm going to set up and go live on Instagram. My dude Jeremy, I'm going live on Instagram, bro. So here we go. Give us a minute. Keep on with the announcements. Bear with me. This is live. I can do what I want.
Yeah, right. So, then also Bossupsolutions, another great way to improve your processes, streamline that stuff, making sure that you're super efficient with your time, taking something off your plate and putting it in their hands. So make sure you check them out as well. But yeah, this is, episode 25. We decided to make a big effort to make sure that we are going into the podcast route. So we're trying to improve our audio equipment and everything like that, like I said, the software. So we will upload that stuff to iTunes, Spotify, Google Play. If there's any other platforms you guys like to use, let me know. And we'll make sure that we're sending it out that way as well. But that's pretty much it. We're also going to be giving away books throughout the process. So we're going to be giving away 3 books, right? You have the books, Randy?
I do. I got them. I'm grabbing them right now.
Let's see them. So Randy pretty much put in a book form as well, how to have successful roofing contracting business, right? What is it called? What we got?
Start Build. All right, let's talk about that, because this the show actually was a derivative of the book.
It was.
Right? We wrote a book.
That's true.
And the book is titled Start It, Build It, Grow It, The Contractor's Guide to Success.
Yeah.
And the Start Build Grow Show, the whole Start Build Grow. I've been told it's a movement.
A movement, baby.
Apparently, it's a movement now. We got a movement going on. So we are going to start doing giveaways at each one of these. Yep. So for the first giveaway is to my man, my dude, the special guest of the evening. So make sure to remind me, bro, and I will go ahead and send you a book here tomorrow. So.
Oh, fantastic! Awesome.
Yeah. So without further ado, we've been rambling long enough, man. He's over there ready
to got some energy. Let's go, for us. All right.
So I got a little story.
Yeah.
Everybody can relate to this. When you meet somebody in passing or at a conference, where we met, and you meet somebody and you just think to yourself, damn, that's a really nice dude.
Yeah.
Right? right? This
His
guy
boss,
is
yeah.
really freaking nice.
Yeah.
So our guest tonight has taken that. He's just naturally a really nice guy. He's taken that to a whole nother level and turned it into an amazing business where he actually like creates millionaires and helps people just change their lives. And without further ado, the nicest guy in real estate,
Let's go.
the friendly flipper,
Oh.
Jeremy Rubin. What's up, bro?
Oh. Hey, thank you. Man, you're too kind. You are too kind.
I'm working on my intros. What do you think?
Oh, wow, I'm flattered. No, it's great to be here. Thanks for having me on the show. It's awesome.
Heck yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Well, let's start with a little bit of an intro. Like, who is Jeremy Rubin, the friendly flipper? Who are you?
So, hey, I'm Jeremy Rubin, the friendly flipper. Born in Glendale, California, raised in Palmdale, and lived on the Central Coast for the last 18 years or so. That's in California as well.
Yeah.
But I've been out here. I started with a background in retail sales. Actually, I started just going down the typical route. Got through high school, started going to junior college, got a job, worked at Circuit City. That turned in. I had a knack for electronics and sales, so it was like I was in my environment, and then that led into working for Verizon Wireless in a career that.
Hey, hold on, let me cut you off for 2 seconds. I want to try something. Okay, we're live. We're entrepreneurs. You're live on Instagram. I'm live on Instagram. They can only hear half the story right now.
That's I
Let's
had
combine, bro.
that problem, so I turned it off. I was like,
Okay, I'm live right now. I got some Instagram people watching. They probably already all left. So let me just add you on Instagram. What do you think? Should we try it?
All right, that's not a bad
Let's try it.
idea.
Let's try it. All right.
Yeah, okay,
All right, here we go. We're live. We can do it.
We're going live
Check this
on
out.
Facebook and Instagram at the same
All
time.
right. So sorry about that. We had only half the story. So we're gonna try to add my dude Jeremy. Let's search the friends.
Sorry, guys. Just 1 second here. We're gonna try this out, see what's going on. If you be on
Talk about
multiple platforms.
the show coming up, the conference.
Well,
coming.
hey,
So
what about the Lightspeed conference? So yeah, that's one thing. Jeremy's program, the Friendly Flipper, is actually on Lightspeed VT as well. So that's where we connected. We got to go to Vegas. We spent 2 days there at their Success Summit, and it was incredible. Like it inspired me so much to help other people. And like I think for me, and you can see what Jeremy's biggest takeaway was man, there was so much success in that room. And they all were just like asking great questions, taking down notes, trying to collaborate with other people, trying to connect. You're like, they don't have any reason to have to do that stuff, right? But they just continue to try to improve and to continue to get more and more successful and help other people. And you're like, wow, that's why we're doing it.
I'm searching for you now, so I don't want to waste our whole show on this, but if it works, great. If not, then this is an idea for next time, right?
Yeah.
So if it works,
yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
If you can see me, try to join in on my live right quick. Can you see my live on your Instagram?
Oh, okay. So I'm not.
Yeah,
So
try
I'll
to join
end.
me.
I will end my live.
I got some people actually watching me like,
Okay.
what the heck is this
So
guy doing? What's how you doing? We're filming a show right now. Check it out. We're filming a show on Facebook Live right now, and we decided to try to go live with Facebook and on Instagram with our guest. Our special guest tonight is the Friendly Flipper. He's got, way more followers than I do on Instagram, so might as well go live with him so we can share some of the follower wealth. So we're gonna attempt that for another couple seconds, and then we'll get right back into his story here. So here we go. Let's see what we can do. There it is. Boom. I'm gonna add you in.
All right.
Yeah, dude. Let's see if we can do this.
Dual
Look at this, man.
platform.
This is on the fly entrepreneurship right here.
Yeah.
That's what this show's all about.
All right.
Yeah,
So now we're in live.
So how does it work? Let me see if
I'll
we're.
just turn my volume down.
Yep, turn the volume down all the way. Cool, let's check that out. All right, now I'm gonna screw around with this real quick. Sorry about that. Watch this, here we go.
Well, let me turn my volume down.
There we go. Are we that good? Are that good?
I
think we're good, bro.
Yeah, as long
What's up,
as it's
Instagram? What's up, Facebook? For the first time, we're live on both with a double dual screen. This is legit. What's up? Next, we got to worry about audio there. We'll figure that out. So bear with us on the audio. If you really want to get the good audio, switch over to Facebook and check it out.
Yeah.
All right, Jeremy Rubin, working at Circuit City, the long lost casualty of the economy. Let's go back right there. Working for Circuit City, selling electronics.
Yeah, selling electronics. Started as holiday help. So I had, up to that point, I had washed dishes in the back of an Italian restaurant. Got tired of getting screamed at. So I was like, well, something maybe a little bit more along the lines of my interest might be electronic sales. So got hired organizing CDs, stuck around for the good enough, I guess, for them to keep me around for the next year and a half or so. And then I ended up working for Verizon Wireless because I realized, okay, electronics sales, wasn't making commission, but I was killing it just for the numbers' sake because I was just, naturally competitive, just like to see my name on the top of the scoreboard. So right around the time when they were putting Verizon Wireless kiosks in Circuit Cities, about 13 well, yeah, about 13-ish or so years ago now, 12, that's when they were like, hey, you should come work for us, make commission. So that basically started me on this, open the next door, the next path. And then I ended up working for Verizon for 11 years, doing sales, supervising, sales management. And then got to a point where I was like, I'm not going to do this for the rest of my life. There's no way I can see myself doing this for 40 more years. And that's a little bit about where I came from.
That was
so then, here we go. I'm going to pop the question.
Yeah.
Right. So that we're leading our way up to. We like to ask all of our entrepreneurs this question because I strongly believe that every entrepreneur has one of these. You have this moment where you're like, no, I'm not going to do this for the rest of my life. Something leads up to it, like some sort of event leads up to you saying, forget it, screw it, I'm going all in, I'm starting my own business. Let's talk about that moment.
Yeah. So, I mean, it, for a long time, I was really happy with, where I worked. I was stoked with being comfortable, basically with the status quo, with, I was just looking to check off the boxes, check off, got a good job, got full benefits, got 401k, got, 4 weeks of vacation actually at the end of 10 years. So it was like, I was just thinking so average and just thinking like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. But that, that turned into just this dread to go into work, this disdain for every day just going into the same gray box. It doesn't help that they paint the inside of the stores gray, or they used to be. So it's like this gray box under like, fake light all day long. And just hit this point where it's like, man, this is not living. This isn't like I'm going into work every day just so I can enjoy my 2 days off that are randomly spaced throughout the week because they pretty much have control of your entire schedule life in retail due to hours and everything. So it was just coming to that realization of this sucks and I'm not going to do this forever. Like there's no way I can do, like, this is bad enough that I've got to do something. I've got to figure out something else because like I'm just literally, like, well, not literally, but figuratively feeling like dying inside. I hate when people use the word literally wrong. That's
right. Yeah.
Good catch. But, it's like that. It's like that. Just that disdain. So it's a rock bottom kind of place that I'm just like, man, I'm never getting ahead. Like, yeah, I'm able to pay the bills, but I'm just settling for this kind of average. And it just that there was no hope in that. Yeah. There was no hope. There was no long-term, like, oh, this is going to be great.
No purpose.
I think average can kind of stick on you too. You know what I mean? It's so hard to get out of it. It's almost like quick scan. You don't even realize you're just going through the motions, and you're like, yep, just clock in, clock out, clock in, clock out, and you get in this mental rut, and there's just like no getting out. So what was like that first action step for you to like get out of that situation you're in, realize that you have more potential, and then move on to something else?
Yeah, no, I just started searching on the online, like how to make money at home, how to start your own business, how to, different type, just started searching for different types of ways to make money. Because I got this idea that, I'll figure out something I can do on the side, get some traction with it, and then hopefully build a bridge to some sort of something other than this, a new career. And it also kind of, there was more, it wasn't just hitting that, it was realizing that I was in a very, for so many years, I had been with this company for so many years. So my particular situation was I thought that this was like the best job I could get for a long time. I had this false
You were
sense of
conditioned mentally.
this scarcity mentality of like,
Yeah.
because I had done good enough to hang around that long. So I'd seen plenty of people come and go. But I felt like I felt like I needed them for a long time. And then so once I realized like, man, I'm only here and I've only been here this long because I'm actually bringing some sort of value to their company. They need me at least as much as I need them, or actually they need me more probably, because the way I see them going through people, it's like, man, they keep, the good ones that they don't stick around. So realizing my own self-worth was a big part of moving towards entrepreneurship, and realizing that, man, like I'm just a number here. It's that the false sense of security. And so those kind of, once I had that false security blanket kind of just like disintegrated, I'm like, well, I guess that's one less. What do I have to lose? Like,
So what was the value of what was your personal value that you realized you had that was able to help you propel yourself out of that situation?
Well, I mean, I basically been able to it boiled down to the last 6 years, just running sales teams, running sales locations within the district, but really dreading it, like really not enjoying it. So,
like what were you? Oh, go ahead.
No, sorry.
So what were you confident in though? Like what did you think that you were really good at that was going to help you get out of that situation? Was it your ability with sales, or what was it?
Sales part of it, but more so determination and problem solving, and just an unrelenting will to, just persistence. Like I'm gonna find, and if other people can do it, I can do it. That's a big thing. Like that was another huge mindset shift that that helped me move forward into entrepreneurship. Is if someone else can do it, why can't I do it? So
you're pretty much your confidence in your ability with persistence, because I mean, there's a lot of people that quit before they even get started, right? And you knew that if you gave it a shot, you were just going to continue grinding until, boom, something hit.
Yeah, and a lot of things didn't work. I dabbled in a bunch of different stuff. E-commerce, before it was really e-commerce, it was more so affiliate stuff.
Cool.
Internet marketing, some day trading, had an auto detailing business for a while. And so a lot of those things didn't work out. And so when I saw people having success with real estate, I just knew, like, okay, it's working for them. If I can model what they're doing, no matter how hard it gets, no matter how many times I fail, if I stick at it long enough, I will have success as well.
Yeah.
And so that's what YouTube brought to light. I didn't really ever look, on how to run an auto detailing business on YouTube, things like that, But with real estate, there were people that I could relate to, model after. Yeah, and then just that unrelenting desire to get away from the pain of just walking into that same great building every day.
So what was your first real estate move then? What was step one?
Step one was actually a rental property. So my first rental property, I had this inkling that, okay, this you can somehow pay off maybe 5 houses in 20 years, and then have maybe 5 fully paid off houses, and then I'd be able to, live off of that. So that kind of cut down that retirement time frame from that gloomy 40 years in half to 20 years, which is a lot better, but still not anywhere near where I wanted to be. So did the rental thing. Actually, that was in 2011. Did that for actually 3 years, but then realized I flipped my first property in 2014, and that's when I came upon the creative side of real estate investing, wholesaling, seller financing, just flipping in general. And so that's once I discovered that, I'm like, okay, I just made basically as much off this one flip that it would have taken 10 years at $250 a month to make that off of a rental property. And
You're like,
And
"Dang, I'm on to
I'm like,
something."
whoa, okay, yeah, this actually works. Like,
I'm on to something.
okay, yeah. So that dramatically reduced that time period of, okay, now it's not 20 years. It's going to be actually a lot quicker that I could actually realistically get out of, this corporate situation that I was in. So
Yeah.
that was a huge aha moment.
So, Randy, I want to hear your thoughts on this. I was thinking we could touch a little bit on questions about, finding properties, just a little bit of details and some tips that people might be interested in flipping houses. And then I also want to definitely touch, especially with Jeremy, or the Friendly Flipper, I guess, which I think I knew you as a Friendly Flipper first. So that's how good job you did with the branding, right?
Yeah. Didn't even know his name. I was like, oh,
yeah, right.
What's your name again?
That means you're winning online, man. Because I definitely want to talk about how to grow your business through social media and stuff like that. Because I think that could be some value for the people listening.
Absolutely.
So maybe starting out with some stuff about flipping houses, like how do you find a property? What do you think, Randy?
Yeah, I'm with it. Give us the Reader's Digest version of for the viewers that maybe in the roofing contracting space are like, hey, you know what? I want to be able to maybe flip a property on the side or flip a property during the downtime, right? A lot of contractors are really busy in the summer and slow in the winter, which wintertime is a perfect time to flip properties.
Yeah,
I've done flips, like that's what we connect. I'm like, man, the flipping thing is super intriguing to me. I've always had this vision of having and running a house flipping investment company, and I flipped some houses as well, and now I'm kind of dabbled into commercial and that sort of thing.
Do you think
but I'm holding everything now.
You think the Friendly Flipper can teach you?
I bet you can. Yeah. Can you teach me how to stretch time?
Yeah, right.
If you could do that, then I'm all in on the Friendly Flipper Academy.
So where the heck do I find properties to flip, man? Where the heck do I find them?
Sorry, what was that?
Where do I find properties to flip?
Oh, where do you find? Great.
Yeah, where do I start, man?
Great question. Yeah. So there's two marketing categories really. You got to kind of look at what do you have. You have more right now based on your current situation. Do you have time or money? What can you spend more of, or a combination of both?
So there it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and regardless, even if you have, so I'll give you some examples.
Yeah.
So some of the free marketing where I recommend starting, even if you do have a marketing budget, because you still can't replace those putting those lines in the water. Craigslist ads. I actually got my first wholesale deal off of putting a We Buy Houses type of ad on Craigslist. Ended up getting a mobile home, put it under contract, which means a seller agrees to sell it at a certain price, and then basically I flipped that contract to someone who ended up buying the property. I didn't actually flip the property, just the contract itself, and made $6,500. So nice. That's where I started. Yeah. So it was like, that was the proof of concept. I was like, wow, this actually works.
Yeah. Now let's do that a whole bunch more times.
And then, yeah. Okay. Now that takes, some digging. That was after months of posting on Craigslist and scanning through. So, but that's one way you can get started. The next way, real estate agents. And when I first started is I didn't put enough lines in the water fast enough. So looking back, it's like, okay, I would have done all these things a lot sooner, but real estate agents, the first thing you can do easily is talk to 3, 4, 5 different agents in your town, get on their list, set up just an auto notification. So where they'll send you leads on properties as they become available, because that's automatic. You set it and forget it pretty much. I mean, you want to check in with the agents, but I'm big on building relationships with agents because that's how you get deals from the MLS, more so than just like, throwing numbers out there. But okay, so those are kind of basic. The next thing that I did as soon as I cashed in that first check, I invested in paid marketing, and that'll rapidly accelerate like the number of leads you get. By sending out postcards. Send out postcards to targeted lists of either homes in your neighborhood that you've driven around and made notes. Okay, the roof on this house is falling, is bad. This house has an overgrown yard and old aluminum windows and just driving for dollars, it's called. So you build a list.
So you can essentially door knock for house flipping, but you're not really knocking doors. You're just looking for opportunities.
And you can door knock too. Yeah, you can door knock. That I did that when I first started. Did some door knocking on expired listings. That's another way. In fact, you can pair up with one of those real estate agents. They'll get you a list of expired listings, and you can go knock those doors. So it's just like, all about putting lines in the water. But the quickest way is to put some money behind it, behind a paid either letter or postcard campaign, and that'll get the phone ringing. And you just use
doing that now still, or no? Are you still using direct mail and stuff like that, or no?
Yeah,
you are. Cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's my number one lead generating. Yeah.
There it is.
And the guy who's all over Facebook.
Yeah, he's not even charging for these nuggets.
Yeah, you guys, if you guys are interested in flipping houses, you better be listening to stuff, because this is gold nuggets for stuff.
I think I'm gonna quit what I'm doing and go flip with you, bro.
The friendly flippers.
The friendly flippers. Like
the friendly
flippers. Can you add a plural there?
You guys are both
make it happen.
Actually.
Then we can go hit up HGTV and see if they want to do a show on us. I'm cool with that.
You guys both smile a lot. You're both pretty nice.
I know a crap load about construction. That's the reality. That's why I always wanted to flip. This basement you see, I built this literally 90% of this right here, baby. These two hands.
Nice.
This room to my left is full of tools, and I love construction. Man, I've been building houses since I was a kid. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, anyone, by the way, I mean, anyone in the construction or roofing industry, like you're already like halfway to flipping houses. It's pretty crazy. I mean, you just have to get the marketing piece down to get leads coming in. And it's a great side business for, contractors.
Do you go to some roofing stuff? Because I know, didn't you go to IMG this year in New Orleans?
I did. Yes.
Yeah. So you do dabble a little bit with the roofers, then?
Yeah. So I actually got invited out there to talk about house flipping and kind of talk about how there's that that commonality between the three kind of industries, house flipping, insurance, and roofing, and got connected with a bunch of cool people. Including Randy himself.
Yeah. So roofers out there, man, check them out at The Friendly Flipper, right? I know that's your Facebook. Are you Instagram, anything else like that you want to get connected with?
Yeah. So, dude, don't downplay it. My dude has 20,000.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Okay, let me rephrase that, dude. You were crushing it on Facebook.
Killing it.
Well, I was gonna save that for the social media part.
Oh, gotcha.
You know what I mean? Like, I was gonna give a big intro, but you just screwed it up for me. So thanks.
My bad.
But at The Friendly Flipper on Facebook, and then what else you guys want? What else want to give out, Jeremy? Is Instagram big for you, or what else?
Oh yeah, Instagram at The Friendly Flipper.
Nice.
Snapchat Friendly Flipper. YouTube, The Friendly Flipper.
YouTube.
So it's pretty much
Okay. Which one's your favorite platform?
It was Snapchat. It is now Instagram. It is now Instagram.
Is it the stories? Do the stories just boot you out of Snapchat?
Yeah, just the stories and like the there's no one on Snapchat anymore. Like
I'm never on Snapchat.
Everyone's migrating towards Instagram. So it's like, okay. Plus Instagram really stepped their game up with overall. So it's like, okay, I think it's a lot more effective. I really like Snap though, for one key thing, and that's to record yourself and watch yourself, because it makes you better. You get better on camera and off camera the more you see yourself, and just that instant
practice.
That instant feedback loop that you get as soon as you do a snap and you see yourself. Oh wow, like I said this way. This could have done this differently. So I still really like that about Snapchat, like as a tool.
So I guess especially how we were saying that nobody's on Snapchat anymore. I guess that's a good way to practice because you don't have to worry about anybody.
I think I have like 12 friends. Don't hate, bro.
So hey guys, make sure you're adding Randy on Snapchat.
Add me on Snapchat. I post like once a week.
So obviously you're flipping. You also have the Friendly Flipper business. How are you using social media to grow your brand and grow your business and your opportunities?
Yeah, so I'm using social media mainly for creating brand awareness, using it as a channel to basically a free channel to get in front of people and remain top of mind. Just from a point of awareness, creating awareness and just I want to be that person, that first person that people think of, that, okay, I need to sell a house fast. Who should I call? Oh, well, Friendly Flipper. I saw
You're that
Jeremy.
guy.
Yeah. So just using it for that brand awareness, and just creating, staying top of mind. Also to create and tell the story of who I am, but build a relationship, because people want to know who they're interacting with and doing business with. And like social media allows you to share the personal side, the professional side. And I really didn't use it at all for business until about a year and a half ago. In fact, until about March of 2017.
Really?
That was the first I really started realizing, okay, there's a big power in a personal brand, and then driving attention to that brand. And I just didn't really know what I was doing, so it was almost just like I didn't know my own power. I guess like a baby dinosaur or something, like doesn't know like their own power. And so I was just went all in on just like, okay, I'm going live, I'm just doing a ton of posts from nothing. And then it started my posts would start to resonate with people. They say your vibe attracts your tribe. So it was just like really cool that like I started making and connecting with all these different friends and people within the entrepreneur industry, sector, I guess you could say, and just all over these positive people that are like motivated. And like my entire news feed on Facebook went from people complaining about politics to, this was right before the election, to like positivity and stuff. And I'm like, man, this is like, wow, really cool. And that all just came as a result of getting out there, putting posts out there, just sharing what I was doing.
And how much of an impact did that have on your business?
It's hard to quantify. I mean, it's immeasurable in the way that, I mean, I'm talking to you, and this kind of was probably a result of the IMG connection, and that was a result of me just basically putting out some videos of walking through some of my flips, hey, this is Jeremy, the Friendly Flipper, and that caused some attention. So it's like, I could have never predicted that I'd be, chatting with you guys today on, a show like this.
Your reach and awareness is incredible. And just like you were saying, man, is you just position yourself as an industry expert, right? Continuously, that you are the person that knows how to flip homes. You're the person that knows real estate. And think about what that's been able to do for us all of a sudden when someone's been watching your content for X amount of time and they're like, oh, I need his services or I need his help, right? They're thinking of you immediately. So, I mean, roofers out there, man, you need to make sure that you're making a big effort on that kind of stuff. I mean, making sure that you're the expert roofer, right? There's a lot of roofing contractors out there. Make sure you stand out online. It's gonna make a huge impact for your business.
Yeah, let's segue that right into I'm gonna channel my inner entrepreneur here, and let's switch gears on the entrepreneurship side. So you started flipping houses and making some good money, and you built this brand. How did you channel your inner entrepreneur and turn that into another revenue generating business?
Yeah, no, great question. So it's funny. It all kind of came about when I'm about a year. So I quit my corporate job January of 2016. I was about a year and 2 months after that. I'm feeling pretty good. I basically, feeling like king of the world of my world. I'm like, oh man, I don't have to answer to a boss anymore. I'm making plenty of money now. It's like things are good. Then I went to 10X Growth Con, and Grant Cardone has a great way of making you feel like you're not doing enough, or you're lazy, or like you can do so much more, basically. So that's when everything came about. That just was like the ultimate catalyst to think bigger. And so that's where I was like, okay, I'm going to be the front and the face of my business. So I'm not going to be just Jeremy Rubin anymore. I'm going to be something that people can remember. So like that's what led to the Friendly Flipper idea. And then a challenge from Hank Norman, actually. So one of the speakers there, he was basically asked me what my 10X goal was. And I was thinking, I'm going to flip 100 houses this year. That's my 10X goal. And he's like, that's great. But that's not a 10X goal. And I'm like, okay, so kind of puzzled. And he's like, think about it. You should be teaching 100 other people how to flip 100 houses a year. That's 10x. And so that, along with a just kind of, I don't know what you'd call it, the right people in the right place at the right time. That's when that's when I first learned of Brad Lee and Lightspeed VT. So, and then people were just starting to ask me, hey, if I want to get into house flipping, what do I do? So it was like the universe is like putting these things all kind of like together because of kind of the action I'd been taking, but I didn't foresee this, going into it. And that's all what led to, man, because I really had no idea or no intention really of sharing what I had discovered, like how to flip houses, like for maybe 20 or 30 years, down the road, like when I'm retired, sure. But the idea, all these things came about, and it's like, man, you could be sharing this with other people. There was other people that are in my same situation where they were working a 9 to 5 or are in a job that they don't want to be in, but they don't necessarily have a path or a step-by-step plan to get out of there. And that didn't hit me until someone else brought that up, and I'm like, you're right. There probably are other people that are actually like, in that kind of a situation. And so that's what led to building Friendly Flipper Academy, which is just the one-stop resource where it takes everything I've learned in the last about 5 years of house flipping and wholesaling and puts it all together in a one-stop, shop of an interactive virtual training where you learn everything you need to know to be able to do it, whether you want to do it part-time or turn it into a full-time business. And it's all condensed into one spot. So you don't have to go all over the internet finding things out. Just once I saw the technology of Lightspeed, the way you can
was like, yep, I'm in.
Yeah, it's like you can recreate yourself for people all over the world that can log on anytime they want. Yeah, it's like,
duplicate yourself. Yeah, we got people all over the world like checking things out. It's like, whoa, it's pretty cool.
So,
there's no way you could do that without technology and without the ability and without that platform. Because at the end of the day, I think everybody who becomes a thought leader or like industry leader that has experience, that has the passion to help and teach others, this is the age of entrepreneurship that just feeds and sets up opportunities to be able to do that at an alarming rate, at like way above and beyond what we could have ever imagined 5, 10, 15 years ago.
Think about it, when we were at this conference, we saw Tim Grover, right? And he trained MJ, Michael Jordan, Dwayne Wade, and Kobe Bryant, right? Like he did that in person. Now he's training people virtually as well. Like he's with people 24/7 through these programs, training people. Like that kind of shows the power behind it, right? Yeah. I mean, think about how many championships that is, like right there.
Like 13 championships.
14, dude. Yeah. 14, 6, 5, and 3.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah. That was our little 15 seconds of fame. Like, what's up, Tim? How you doing, man? He's like hanging out. He's just a normal guy. It's cool. It's cool getting to hang out with Tim Grover. Hopefully you guys saw my video. If you did, say what's up, reshare it.
Yeah.
We should get some interaction here. Let's get some comments and let's give away a book. Yeah, so if you're still, if you're on here live watching, or even later, if you're gonna watch this later and recap it later, who knows? Who knows how fast it's gonna happen? But let's go ahead and just throw something out on the comments. Just comment hashtag Start Build Grow Show, and then we'll go ahead and get you connected. We'll go ahead and get you a book shipped out here in the next couple of days. Okay. So here it is, hashtag Start Build Grow Show, and we're gonna send you a book, free book.
Did Jeremy still get his book or no?
Yeah, I used to get yours. Unless we get a whole bunch of interaction, then you may lose yours. There it is, the Start Build Grow Show, the Start Build Grow book that anchors the show. Everything I learned over 10 years, 15 years of entrepreneurship and contracting. This isn't just roofing. This is stuff that you can apply to any construction, any trades business. And in fact, I've had my wife is a teacher. She did a lot of proofreading because I can't even read. I wrote a book and can't even read. Yeah. So she did a lot of proofreading for me. And she was like, man, I was able to take some really good advice that I can apply to teaching. Really? Never would have thought that. But, if you want to learn something, you want to have a good story and learn some valuable things that about entrepreneurship and about contracting, boom, here's the book. I'm going to give it away. It's yours free. Go ahead and hashtag Start Build Grow Show.
Okay, cool. So what about, like you were saying, I mean, like your wife's a teacher, was able to get value out of that, right? And this show we talk about a lot about roofers, but at the end of the day, it's about business, it's about entrepreneurship, it's about growth, right? It's all about that development. Well, do you have any kind of key takeaways or anything like that, just for business owners that no matter what business you're running, man, like this is a big takeaway that you should work on or that you learn from?
For myself, I would say, it's for me, what keeps me going is always asking the question, the one question. There's this big thing, what's your one question? Like, what's the constant thing that you're always either asking yourself or telling yourself? And until I started thinking about this, you don't really like pay attention to it, but like you constantly like play like these recordings in your head. And so they can either be effective and help you, or they can be like, negative and hold you back. And so once I understood that concept, I started paying attention, and then I realized, okay, so my one question. And once you realize what it is, like if it's a good one, you want to like overdrive it. If it's a bad one, you want to switch it up. So like, and mine was pretty good because I'm that mindset of like, got to get things done. It's what's the next step? What's the next step? What's the next step? So that's that constant question. So once I became aware of that, I'm like, okay, this is a good question. I need to keep this up. So just overdriving that question. So knowing what is your one question, or what do you constantly, the thoughts that you're playing through your head, and if they're not serving you, then switch them up. If it is, then ramp it up.
I'm gonna put you on the spot, guys, both you guys. I'm gonna start out with Randy though, so I'm gonna give Jeremy a little time to think about it. So what's the next step?
There's always a next step. Yeah, I mean, you gotta. Well, in my case, you gotta be more. You know me, man. You gotta be a little more descriptive. What's the next step?
With business right now? What's going on? What's your next step?
With business, man? We are launching the world's greatest roofing education platform. That's the current and next step, because that's what we're all in on. Like, when you focused on something, you gotta be in on it. Like, I don't mess around. I'm not trying to put a mediocre product out there. Like, I'm a hyper competitive guy, just like Jeremy. It's like there's no half-assing it. I'm all in right now. Like, we're building out the marketing strategy.
So what does that mean? What does that mean for the potential customers, though, right? The people 100%. That can actually learn something from this. What does that mean for them? They're going to get all of you, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, how do you duplicate yourself, right? I mean, it all started the same way with Jeremy. People have been calling me for 10 years. Other roofers, hey, here, give me some advice on this. Here, what do you think about this? I need to hire somebody. Oh, how do I get a sales guy? How do I find people? Oh, how do I do production? Like, all these different questions. I'm fielding them, and building these relationships. And all of a sudden, I'm like, man, how do I take that to the next level? That's the next level. That's what's next. And we got this conference coming up, and I'm blessed with the opportunity to keynote that. So I'm putting a lot of thought and effort. I want to make sure I try to deliver on a good level.
What are you talking about?
You know what? You'll have to find out.
Oh, come on. What? You can make me wait?
I don't know.
Even me? Maybe you tell me.
I don't quite know. I may find out the night before and just go with it.
I've actually heard some great speakers have done some stuff like that, where like I heard I had a dream speach wasn't actually finished until like the night before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Which is kind of crazy.
Greatness comes right before you have to deliver it.
I think maybe there's just more emotion behind it or something. I'm not really sure.
We're gonna tell the story. Really, I'm gonna tell the story of how I went from young, energetic entrepreneur, like king of the world, to nothing, to crash and burn, bottom of the barrel, bankruptcy, losing everything. My dog wouldn't even want to hang out with me. And then picking myself back up. Because really along that journey, now that you asked, you plugged it for me. Mm-hmm. That journey is all about self-development. And you even mentioned this too. Like, and fast forward from what Jeremy was talking about earlier, is I'm still going to do that now. Like, what's your self-worth? Like, what is the knowledge and information that you know? Right. Those 10,000 hours that I've put in as an entrepreneur and as a roofing company owner, like, what value does that have? Right. Yeah. And I have to constantly like analyze myself. Like, what is that? Like, I don't know. Yeah. Like, what is the value of that? So
the more you learn, man, the more knowledge you have, and the more you refine your skills, just the more confidence you have, right? 100%. And then that voice in your head, like you were saying before, is just positive stuff. And then now you're on the momentum train, right? And then it's game over.
You have to have when you have it, you have it.
Yeah.
And you asked about what's motivation, what keeps you every day wanting more, wanting more, wanting more. It's just an absolute thirst for knowledge.
Yeah.
I think.
You need that. I think you need that.
I want to learn. And luckily, I feel like I was blessed with the ability to learn really fast. So, ask me what's the difference? What makes you different than other roofers or other thought leaders or anything like that? One, you will not ask somebody. I mean, I can say this live.
Yeah.
Because I've worked with hundreds of people, and not one of them are going to say that dude is lazy. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, that's the one thing. I will outwork you. I will out-hustle you. I will get up early. I will stay up late. I will do what it takes to win.
Yep.
That's the mentality you got to have. And on top of that, I have just an absolute thirst for knowledge. I want to learn as much as I can about what I'm doing, because part of the reason why I was so enthralled with meeting Tim Grover is, you look at sports, right?
Yeah.
Who's the GOAT of this sport? The GOAT of that sport? The GOAT of all GOATs is Michael Jordan, right? Everybody compares. I want to be the Michael Jordan of this or the Michael Jordan of that. So you young millennial guys, you don't know what's up. You weren't there when greatness was happening with Michael Jordan winning championships, right? Absolutely, because you're looking at the Michael Jordan of roofing. That's what the deal is, right? And you're looking at the Michael Jordan of house flipping. Okay. Because that's the mentality you have to have. Well, you have to be willing to put in the work and learn and grow every single day, relentless.
And I think, the best way to refine your skills and your knowledge and like that, just surround yourself with experts. Spend a lot of time with experts. I think that's the biggest hack. So that's a great way to connect with these guys. If you're looking to flip homes or if you're looking to become the best roofing company in the country, connect with an expert. That's going to be your step one, right? But we actually have a comment right here that's looking for some bombs dropped from the friendly flippers. So I might just put it on the spot on him, just be like, man, what bomb do you got for us, man? Because the audience is asking for it, man.
Whoa, okay, all right. Putting me on the spot. Well, to touch on what you just said and the Lightspeed VT Summit that we just were just a part of, you can't. I mean, that is like. There's so much value in hanging out with people that are doing what you already want to do, or that are just of the mindset of success, especially if you're not. I mean, it's such a night and day difference, because when I think back to, the person I used to be as a corporate employee, and just like the way I looked at the world is different now. It's just like I see so much opportunity now in. Even if house flipping and real estate went away and completely disappeared, I still see so many more opportunities, just because I feel like my eyes are open to that now. But a huge catalyst for that is hanging out with people that are already thinking that way, or that are moving towards that thought process. So like as an entrepreneur, or if you want to, even for personal development and personal growth, like there is an immeasurable amount of value in going to events and hanging out with people that are doing what you already want to do, people that are successful, people with positive mindset. Like it's crazy. Like that, like it's like a rocket boost, like on your growth. Like
what's that old adage that they say, if you're the smartest and most successful person in the room, you're in the wrong room?
Yeah. I'll tell you this.
We were in the right room. I'm telling you. Yeah. I mean, every single person in there was beyond, like, beyond what I could ever even imagine what success even was.
But like, every single person in that room was more successful than I am, right? I mean, I'm still young, figuring all these things out, right? And I'm like, man, these people are trying to learn more than I am, right? I was like, I need to step my game up, right? Like, it was exciting to see that, man, because it's like, all these people are already crazy successful, and they're still just driving. Like, they didn't have to fly out there, right? They didn't have to take those notes. They didn't have to, collaborate with everybody. They didn't have to do any of that stuff. They didn't have to ask all these questions. Like, there's a few people asking a ton of questions, but they're like genuine questions because they're like so curious. I was like, dude, you're already killing it.
Oh man, and that's another thing that's so inspiring about going to those kind of things is you see these people that you're like, man, you're like where I want to be, and they're like so hungry, like to get to the next level. Like,
they're already making like tens of thousands of dollars a month, and they're like, how do I get to 100,000? How do I get to 1 million? It's like, it's just natural progression. It doesn't change. I mean,
and you don't get that.
Keep going.
Right. You don't get that from your coworkers. Like you don't get that like from most of the people that you're going to hang around with, you know, in day-to-day life. It's like you have to put yourself in those places.
Yeah.
But
You're
those
like
places
searching
exist.
for it too, man. Like there's people, like you're exactly, you just nailed it. Those places exist. It's sometimes you can feel like those places don't even exist, right?
Yeah,
but when you put yourself out there, you're 100% right, man. It's gonna make.
I had no idea.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Well, hey,
like
now,
I mean,
one thing I do want to touch on though, because you know we had a question. It's actually another one for you. It goes back to the flipping thing. But what are you looking for when you're looking for a fix and flip?
so I'm looking for an opportunity to add value. That's the number one thing. So I'm looking for where I can go in and physically take the property in its current state, either and renovate it, do some upgrades, basically make it, you know, bring it up to equal in finish and quality to what the nicest homes in the neighborhood are. So that's what I'm looking for. Ways to add value. The other half to that is ways to add value to the seller, to your customer, the person you're working with.
Mm-hmm.
You can add value to them by the convenience of a quick sale. You know, you're buying it as is. You can close in 10 to 15 days. There's nobody gonna walk through their house. You know, they don't have to open it up, clean it up. So the combination of those two things is where you can add value, and when it's both of them, then you can end up with a pretty sweet deal.
Sweet. All right.
Very cool.
I like that a lot. Do you have your notes? I think somebody else has left a comment.
Yeah,
I can't get it open right now, so let's make sure we touch on everybody.
Facebook has been acting up a little bit the last couple of days. I don't know if you guys have noticed. Have you noticed, like, Facebook has been really slow? I couldn't even log on the computer yesterday.
Yeah, there is.
So
Also,
there
some
seems to
issues
be
on the
some issues
desktop
going
too,
on.
because it looks like there's one more comment. Let's see what we got.
I can't see the comments. So if anyone's posting comments, I can't see them. That's
you can't. Oh, you can't see them. Oh man, yeah, it must be something with the software.
Yeah, and we should be able to kind of software. We should be able to kind of promote a comment too. But we're learning. We're figuring it out. You know,
the new software. The new software is pretty cool. I mean, I think if you have the opportunity to go live, which everybody does now, it's you have to figure out a cool way to incorporate your business. Should we do a little challenge right here, maybe, just for a little bit of fun? And what's the best way for a roofing company to use Facebook Live to grow their business? Let's see what you got, Jeremy. I'll start with you.
Yeah. No. So, So what I would do is I would start taking people to. You said I want to make sure I understood the question.
Yeah.
Best way to use Facebook Live to grow your roofing business.
To grow your roofing business. Yep.
Oh, cool, perfect. Yeah. So I would go live on your job sites. I would take your customers or your followers and your friends along with you throughout parts of your day, throughout parts of the journey. Always with a value. My first, like, the number one thing that my posts have to deliver is value. Like they should be about, more so about everybody else than about me. Like
which is hard for people to figure out, right?
I think people get that mixed up, right? They get, a lot of people are going live, right? It's the thing now. Like, it's a thing. You got to go live, blah blah blah. But don't go live and just rant about yourself. It's like, you want to go live and deliver value. No one wants to watch other people talk about themselves. People want to learn something. If you're going live, teach somebody something. Doesn't matter what you know. Doesn't matter what your level of experience is. You can know just a little bit more than somebody else and still deliver value. But it's about other people. It's about the audience. It's about who's listening, who's watching.
So let's break this down then. So Jeremy he's on his job site, right? He owns Jeremy's Roofing, and he is thinking about the audience first, right? And now what are you doing?
Okay, so now I want to teach the audience something that is going to save them money or save them time or be convenient, be something that is like a tip, something they didn't know. So if I was in the roofing industry, I might explain, okay, we just put a new roof on this house. One thing you can be, and my roofing, my knowledge of roofing is so I might butcher this, but a tip, one thing you can do to get the longest, to maximize your roof life, or to get the most longevity out of your roof, is to do X, Y, and Z. Whatever it is.
Providing value.
So say exactly. Providing
and
value.
You make yourself the expert in the industry as well, like you were saying before with the friendly flipper.
And or this. or just make whatever it is that you're doing, make it into a case study, into a learning moment. So, we ended up we just replaced this roof. Doesn't look great. It's going to look, great for years to come. Now here's 3 tips on getting bids on here, when you go to get a bid on a roof, here's what you should do. And then ask
to look for whatever.
Yeah. So just giving tips, positioning yourself as the expert, not selling to them, but providing value. And that's goes same for.
What about entertainment? Do you believe in any sort of
yes.
So making it more entertaining as well?
Yes. Yeah. So entertainment is definitely value. Value. People pay money to escape. I mean, people pay all the time. Movies are grossing, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500 million dollars.
Reality TV, right? Jersey Shore just came back. It's a freaking train wreck. But everybody watches.
It's back?
Yeah.
Really, man.
Jersey Shore's back, and millions of people are watching this train wreck of people just doing things.
Hey, we got a merchandising question actually. I actually threw it on the screen.
A plug for it.
Yeah. Might as well, right?
Where do we get that sweet hat?
Yeah, where do we get that cool hat?
Oh, yes. So these hats are they are available. Shoot me a DM and I will hook you up.
Nice.
What you need to know on these guys.
All right, get me in line. I'll send you a book. You send me a hat.
Yeah.
You know,
you guys are doing
let's make this happen.
I want
collaboration.
some kind of apparel too or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm that part of it.
No, definitely. I'm gonna get you guys.
So Brenda, we gotta give you a little shout out. Brenda just said hello, gentlemen. So I figured I'd throw her up on the screen and
what's up?
She shared it out. Thank you so much.
Thanks for the shares.
Yeah,
thanks for the love. We obviously kind of knew that we were kind of taking a risk on the viewership.
Yeah.
One, we're switching from going live on my personal account to the Start Build Grow Show.
So we did the first 20
you're talking
episodes,
a ton of people that follow and along versus the Start Build Grow Show. So if you are watching this, you're gonna watch this later because we're gonna share the crap out of this.
Yeah.
Probably even put some sponsor dollars behind it and get it in front of a lot of people.
Yeah.
If you're watching this later and you can appreciate the content and we're providing value for you, click the like button on the Start Build Grow Show. And you can actually notify when we go live next. We actually go live every Wednesday at 6:30. And what's next, right? What's next with the Start Build Grow Show is one, we're going to continue to advance ourselves with our awesome guests that we have. We're going to continue to bring on awesome guests. We're adding technology to the show. We're adding better audio because we're converting the show over to a podcast.
Yeah.
So if you're watching this and you only have a couple minutes or whatever, you're jumping on to saying hi and got to go feed the kids. Hey, more power to you. That's what I got to do after this as well. But you can check us out on the podcast later. You can find it on iTunes. You can find it on Stitcher.
Yes, sir.
And any other of the podcast
we
sites.
appreciate the help on the transition. Like I said, we were doing a lot of these episodes on Randy's page, and it was great for viewership and stuff like that. But at some point we had to pull that off his personal page, so we're just trying to make that transition. And we actually have another comment here that I threw up on the page or on the live, and it's from Andrew, and it says, "I have a house that's in a hot area in Inglewood. I'm thinking about flipping it myself, but I also have a few investors interested. PM me if you could, Jeremy." So Jeremy, maybe follow up with him after the show. That'd be awesome. This show is great, by the way, Randy, and he actually owns a foam concrete lifting company. I want to get big. It sounds like
Want to go big?
Go big, and he needs your book. So I think
Andrew, done deal, brother. Thanks for the comment.
Inglewood, dude. Inglewood guy.
Well, who knows? That could be Inglewood, California.
Oh yeah, actually, are you in California or are you out here in Colorado? Hit us up in the comment. Let us know, man. Kind of curious.
Yeah, we like to always know. We didn't announce it, but we like to know where you're from. Say what's up. Let us know where you're from. Now we're just kind of hanging out, right?
Yeah.
We're just hanging out. So we got a couple more minutes. This one went a little bit long, but it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
The lessons learned takeaway is I love the idea of going the dual Instagram plus Facebook, but the sound is terrible. So what we got to do next time when we do this, Jeremy, is get the lav mics and maybe double up on the mic. Have a mic for the right. Have a lav for the cell phone, and then mics for the podcast.
Double mics is actually a good idea. Yeah, if you go really into it.
That's the next step.
That's entrepreneurship. That's the next step. That's how my mind works, right? I'm always looking for.
Jeremy got out of that question last time too. So there you go. That's his next step. Is the double lives, man.
No, I saw this guy. Okay, I saw this guy.
Did he do the double lives?
He shows up. This guy shows up with a little one of those extendable things.
Yeah.
Boom, 2 phones.
He's like, and he's
I'm filming. I'm on both. Like I was like, I gotta get me one of those.
See that's taking that sense of next level, man.
She's got it right there. Look at that.
Right there.
See, that's the next level right there, man.
Always be thinking outside the box if you want to separate yourself, I guess, right there.
Yep.
And that's what he's doing, man. I mean, when you're thinking about, flippers and who's the guy to call, you're hitting up Jeremy.
You're hitting up the guy with 2 cell phones.
You're hitting up the guy with 2 cell phones. He's working.
Who takes their game to that level where they're going live on 2 cell phones, paying 2 cell phone bills?
Right. Yeah, if he's taking his game to that level just for that stuff, right? Think about what he's going to be doing when it's flipping homes and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Like, think about what he's going to be doing.
So as we're wrapping up, man, let's give us a little bit of nugget. We've been talking about business, talk about flipping houses. That's awesome. Give us a little nugget, man. You got kids. What's your story? What's your day-to-day?
Sure.
What's
your day-to-day life like, Mr. Jeremy Rubin? Let's get to know.
I actually don't know. I'm kind of curious about this.
Yeah, me too. Let's get to know the fans that are out there taking a look and watching Jeremy's every move.
Yeah, sure. So well, I am currently, ladies, I am currently single.
Single fire.
No.
All right. Hey, remember, I'm a friendly flipper, man. Just go down in the DMs, right?
There we go.
Going down in the DMs. Let's see. So right now I'm really, really focused on growing the hell out of my businesses. So most of my days really are focused around either the house flipping business or growing the academy. But outside of that, I do enjoy physical fitness. I enjoy working out. It's like my stress relief and also like my antidepressant and my feel good.
He owns multiple businesses and he likes to work out, right?
I just need to find.
Are you talking about yourself? Or are you talking about Jeremy Rubin over here? Because this dude, this crazy bro, he told me like a couple months ago, hey man, I'm training to run 100 miles.
Nice.
Out of your damn mind. And then he's like, all right, well, first off, I'm just going to tone it down and do 50. Mm-hmm. I'm like, dude, I can't run 5 miles.
Yeah.
You give me 2 miles, I'm probably crawling my way home. And this guy goes out and runs like 10 miles as a warm up. And he killed it. He did it for a sponsorship, for an awesome cause. What was that? Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so that was actually before. So if you guys are out here in Colorado, we're still pretty well connected to them now. They just had a fundraiser kickball game or a kickball tournament, but it's called Daniel's Caravan. And a kid named Daniel unfortunately lost his life to leukemia. But when he was there, man, he saw some stuff where it's like, you have an 8-hour chemotherapy treatment, and he would see kids who would have to take the bus home after that, right? Because their family didn't have transportation to get back. So they'd have like a 2-hour thing after an 8-hour appointment, right? And so like he would give these kids his balloons that he would get or toys or whatever. And it's kind of one of those things where it's like, if he knew that he should be helping those kids out, we should too. So his mom actually started a program called Daniel's Caravan where now she transports kids to and from their outpatient appointments. So check them out. It's danielcaravan.org. You can always give money there or just support, create awareness, just like them on Facebook. But they're out here locally in Denver, Colorado, so check them out.
Very cool, man. Mm-hmm. So it's very millennial of you.
Very millennial of me, yes, I know.
We're all millennials here, actually. Technically.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, this was awesome. Awesome show. Great having you, man. I look forward to connecting with you. We got conferences coming up. We got some Lightspeed coming up. We gotta collaborate on just dominating the virtual training industry. And we're glad to have you, man. Keep it real out there in California. And for anybody who is interested in flipping houses, hit my dude up. He knows his stuff, and he can actually train you virtually and expedite your growth. I'm excited.
And if they DM you answer to that too. Is that a good way to get in contact with you?
Yeah. So best way to contact me, connect with me on Instagram, The Friendly Flipper. And you can also, if you like, text the word flip to 96,000 and you can get a free 3-part house flipping toolbox.
Boom, look at that. You already had that teed up, didn't you?
All right, so what was it? It was text?
He's going to type it in the comments right now.
Mm-hmm. Text flip.
Flip to 96000. And select the option that you want to learn about flipping, and you'll get a free 3-part house flipping toolbox delivered to your email.
That's what's up. Cool,
Very
man.
Cool. Good stuff, man. You got a nice little free gift there, man. I like that. I'm going to have to pick your brain on it.
Yeah.
We're trying to work on some more of those little promos and free gifts and all that stuff. So for now, you can get a book. All right, we'll stick with the book for now, I guess.
Cool, man.
Hey, man, thanks for having us.
Hey.
That was a great show. And again, we got to give some special thanks to our sponsors, the JobNimbus and the JobNimbus conference that's coming up in August. Actually, August. This is in October. Really excited about that. So you can check that out on our social media channels.
In Texas,
and
keep it weird.
Yeah, keep it weird. We're going to be keeping it weird in October. And a big shout out to Summa Media, obviously the Roofing Academy, and some of our other sponsors. We got the Bossupsolutions, as well as Media Outbreak. So thank you guys for the support. Thank everybody. Make sure to share this out. Share with your loved ones. And we'll see you on the next show, man.
Well,
Thank you guys. Hey, thanks for having me.
Friendly Flipper, man, you are way too nice, man. You are way too friendly, guys. This was episode 25. Thank you guys so much. Make sure you guys are liking this page, the Start Build Grow Show. This is going to be going down every Wednesday, 6:30 Mountain Time. Thanks again, Jamie. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you. God bless.
Thank you.